So another large red pill podcast. And I'm going to preface this by saying that the host of that show has a preference for this particular thing. It's fine to have a preference, but I think dissecting the preference is interesting and worthwhile. So he had a lady on his podcast just recently who went on 50, and the goal was 50 dates in 50 days. Okay. So this is going to be an interesting one, but hear me out. When he heard that, he basically was of the opinion that that would be a deal breaker unto itself. The fact that she had other, if he was one of the people in that list of dates, that would be a deal breaker unto itself because of the proximity of other dates to his date. He likened it to diverting her romantic attention to too many areas. Now, I think that the 50 dates, in 50 days is obviously a little bit extreme to some degree. I think that was probably the point if I were to guess. Do you think there's an issue with having a proximity of other dates to, let's say everybody here is single for a moment. If you found out that the person you were going on a first date with had other dates lined up for later in the week, would that be a deal breaker for you, or would it bother you at all?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I feel like that's cute that you think you're that special.
Thank you, Taylor.
Are you serious? Yeah, no, I guess I would need to understand the context of this woman's purpose, what she was trying to derive from it.
I can give you that from what I remember. And obviously, don't take my word for it. Feel free to go watch whatever's podcast. I'm doing my best to recall it as best I can. Yes. It's a long podcast. I think she really wanted to date as many people as possible to see if she could find someone that maybe she would not normally have dated.
Yeah, she was having people.
And the person she not ended up long term with, because I don't think she got that far, but the person I think she got to date 9. And after date 9, she's something felt very different about date 9. She chopped off all the dates beyond that, canceled on everybody. She had other people lined up, I think 2 weeks in advance, which is interesting unto itself.
That's real scheduling work.
There's no way I could handle that, by the way. You give me 3 in a week and I'm pretty much done. But she cut off every date after that and then stopped talking to the people prior that she had gone on dates with earlier and was hey, I met somebody, I'm going with this person, and that was it. And I think the whole idea of doing that was to try to meet people that would not normally fall under her dating purview, if you want to call it that. Which I think is a fantastic idea.
I've
always been a big proponent of date as many people as you possibly can, especially when you're younger, to try to find out what your likes and dislikes. How else are we supposed to know? But there's the background on her.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's great. Yeah, I mean, seriously though, to me that just sounds like an insecurity in that person of caring that much. If that really bothered you and you let's just say this guy felt an insane connection and he was this is the woman I want to marry, this is the one or whatever. If he's not communicating that to the woman, just being hey,
oh, I do it all the time too. It's all good.
Yeah, if he's not hey, I had such an amazing connection, do you feel the same way? If so, would you mind canceling the dates to see where this goes first?
Oh, sure.
I think that's a totally amazing way to go about that. But if you're just if you're feeling butthurt or whatever, oh my God, you have other dates?
How could you?
What's going on?
These are first dates we're talking about too.
Yeah. Never having met this person before.
Right. But I still think that connection can come about in a first date,
Oh, absolutely.
I believe in that for sure. But yeah, if you're not communicating that side of it, I felt this amazing connection with you. It feels really deep. Would you mind just seeing where that goes with me? Let's set up another date. I think that's amazing and great communication, first of all. But again, if they're just getting butthurt about it, then I think there's some insecurities there that you should work on.
Yeah, things that could be worked through.
I think this particular host, Brian Atlas, was terrified of comparison, which I think is funny in a lot of different ways.
He's got stuff to work on, as Taylor pointed out.
I think just the pure notion of having to be anywhere near the proximity of a different date means comparison, if I had to guess. And I think he was terrified of it. personally.
It also kind of portrays a sense of ownership too. Like you
Interesting that you came to that
Interesting that you
conclusion.
said
Is that where he went with it? Or
No, that you're hitting on some of the things that I think are commonalities and common
Yeah.
themes in that particular realm.
like if someone was like, "Hey, you're gonna go on this date with me, and you're gonna cancel those," like before even getting there. Like if you have a spark, having that great communication of, "Hey, I think we had a really good connection. I would like to continue this." That's different than before even going on the date. Nope, that's a deal breaker to me, because if she is not completely dedicated to just me, this stranger she has never met,
Yes.
then I'm not interested. And that's this like sense of entitlement and ownership. And it's just like, I'm not interested in that guy anyways. So thanks for
No.
eliminating yourself from the queue kind of thing. Like I would not want to be with someone who thought it was okay to determine that they were my highest priority
Yeah.
without even knowing me.
Well, he essentially expected exclusivity before even meeting someone,
Yeah,
which is
that's
So
insane.
weird.
crazy in my
Mhm.
opinion.
We need
But
like
I'm
a-
open to other ideas. If you guys agree with that, I'd be curious to know.
Well, it's a sense of ownership, not just on her, but women. Like it's like
Yes,
the
it is.
idea that you own, again, not Sarah or whoever it is. I am in charge of this person. Essentially, I get to decide that she's not going to have any other dates. It's about women, and it's really strange to me to think that